Good morning. Today is Tuesday, May 2nd, and it is 8:36 a.m. All right, let's take a look at the news for today. All right, we have nothing. Okay, not one piece of news. Well, total vehicle sales. I'm not sure how that happens all day, but okay, I guess we have vehicle sales coming out all day long. I don't expect any of that to cause choppiness. So let's take a look at yesterday's trading over here on crude. And looks like we had a busy night overnight. Seems like an awful lot of bars for the overnight trade. But anyway, let's move our lines, our levels. So we have yesterday's VPOC, overnight VPOC. Yesterday's value area low. And yesterday's value area high. Here is overnight low and overnight high. Okay, so we've got our VPOC value area high, value area low from yesterday. We have overnight high, overnight low, and overnight VPOC as well. All right, let's take a look at what we did overnight. We are very much neutral, it looks like. Here's yesterday's close. You can see we did all this trading beneath it and now all this trading above it. To me, this is fairly neutral. Now, we do have a very clear low volume area that separates these distributions. It looks like 3 distributions from last night. Hang on, I'm having trouble with my pen, as usual in the morning. All right. So we have one smaller one much better defined one. Then we have this low volume area, and then another smaller distribution down here. So we're going to watch this area here as potentially a point of support, and we see it. We see it in this like little double bottom here, this little wick here. We see that when we got into this price area, look how fast we moved through it. So you can see how we had these strong bullish candles go right through that zone. So we'll keep an eye on that this morning. Let's bring in our hourly chart. Okay. So let's mark off yesterday's high and low. It looks like yesterday's high is already marked off. It coincides with another previous swing, so that's going to stay on there. And yesterday's low. So we can see these two swing levels here. We breached in both directions. You see we came through in this bearish candle. This bearish candle we broke down below. In this bearish candle we also broke down below this one. Sorry for the bad drawing. We then pushed back up. Sorry, guys. Then here in this bullish candle, we break back up and we break through both of these levels now. So I'm going to remove them from the chart. One will just get shifted down to be yesterday's low, and one will get removed completely. Okay. So let's take a look at a little bit more information. We'll go backwards a little bit. It looks like we can start getting close to being able to draw out a micro composite down here. Let's also take a look back. If I remember right, there's a micro composite there. We'd like to have on our screen for our homework. Okay, that should work. Let's take a look at where we're currently trading. We are at 49.04. Right about here. And let's center that giving us a little over 100 ticks to the upside and 100 ticks to the downside. So here comes some hypos. Hypo 1. We see we're opening outside of yesterday's value, but inside of yesterday's range. So actually, depending on where we open, we might actually even be outside of yesterday's range. We're currently just outside of yesterday's range. So hypo 1 is going to be an immediate pullback to close the gap, hold at overnight high. I'm sorry, hold at yesterday's high. Looks like also overnight VPOC, push up to test overnight high, little pullback, get above overnight high as support, test this microcomposite VPOC here, and if we are to make our way up, it stands to reason that we are going to ultimately look to try to climb up into these two here. You can see we have this. Sorry, that's not what I wanted. You can see we have this value area high here from this microcomposite. So that's going to be hypo 1. Hypo 2 is going to be a start higher. Either could be overnight high, could even be above, could be this microcomposite VPOC, but ultimately look for a turn down, bringing us downwards towards the value area high and VPOC from yesterday. This can further go, we can traverse further down into this congestion of levels here. We have a former VPOC, a microcomposite VPOC, we have overnight low. So this can easily be another, if we were going to be range bound, I can see this kind of being that range. This really can even extend further up to here. Enjoy that a little better. The range can end even all the way up here. I wouldn't think that if we get up to this area here, I wouldn't think that we're going to then make our way all the way back down today. Again, it could be wrong, and it doesn't matter. What I mean by that is this. So let me first write this out as hypo 2, but then I'm going to kind of show you what I'm talking about. So hypo 2 would still be, in my opinion, it would still be in effect. Let's say we did come up here, made our way up here, held, and started turning down. At that point, what I'm watching for is I'm looking for reversals. And then as we come down, I'm watching to see, can we get back through this microcomposite VPOC? And if we do, the idea is we're basically going to be looking to trade this distribution. And then if we get below this area in that distribution, then we're going to be looking to kind of get through this low volume area here, which is what brings us into yesterday's value area high, VPOC, value area low, and all these levels down here. So hypo 2 doesn't have to stop right here. Okay, I just want to point that out, that it's not automatic. Once we break this area, yes, the assumption is we're going to make our way up to this naked VPOC and maybe even all the way up as high as the swing here. But we can make that move all the way up there and still turn back down and make our way all the way down through. You know, that's only 100 ticks. If we made our way all the way up here to about 50, we could pull all the way back to 49 and really only have a 100 tick range, which for oil is very, very normal. Actually, that's probably even under normal right now. Okay, so let's take a look at hypo 3, and hypo 3 is going to be an open and ultimately a push down into yesterday's range, hold at some type of resistance, probably, let's just assume overnight VPOC, could be as high as overnight low, and then turn and start making our way through all of yesterday's range and pushing down towards this swing low here from the other day. And depending on how strong the move is, we do still have a VPOC down here at 48. And again, depending on the strength of the move, there's absolutely no reason this couldn't go further. This, again, would be just about a 100-tick move if it starts at the open, starts trending its way down. And that's going to be hypo 3. Okay. That's all we need from oil this morning. Now let's take a look at the S&P. What time do we have? Plenty of time, 8:48. So let's adjust our levels to show yesterday's activity. First, we'll do overnight high here. Overnight low, overnight VPOC. Yesterday's value area high, yesterday's VPOC. So VPOC from yesterday is overlapping with VPOC from overnight. So that's definitely a strong number, a magnet that should be attracting price. Okay, so I did notice that there was a swing here. I'm just going to move overnight high for a minute. So when I go onto my other chart, I want to see if this swing needs to be removed. So let's, oopsie. Oh, that's not cool. I accidentally moved the micro composite VPOC here. I think I see what it was. All right, I'm not going to worry about it just now.
Are you serious?
Okay, so let's take a look at the levels from yesterday. If we breached any, and this is the one that I wanted to expose. So we did actually. We're going to want to move this to yesterday's high since we had gone through it. We're going to leave this. We're going to leave this one on. No, we're not. This one got breached here the other day. I'm not sure why that's on here at all at this point. So that's going to become yesterday's low. All right, so with that, I'm going to go back and readjust the overnight high so that it is accurate. And let's see where we're currently trading. Let's actually scrunch this up just for a second. We are still hovering near the all-time highs. Again, I'm much more interested in longs than shorts, but the way that we have formed up here, that's not to say that we cannot look for short opportunities. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see how they form. So let's take a look at where we're currently trading. 87. Bye, buddy. Love you. Thank you, Monster. Okay, so here's 87. And let's give ourselves about 25 ticks each way. That's pretty good. Okay. So interestingly enough, we are currently trading at yesterday's close. So very, very balanced trading overnight. Let me go back and show you that. If you look at the overnight trading, everything from this line, this vertical line forward, very tight range, very balanced. So we are opening up in balance, in range, in value. We certainly that could lead to some choppiness at the open, but let's throw out some hypos. So hypo 1 is going to be a choppy open, test of overnight high, test of overnight low. Ultimately, we're going to look for long opportunities at overnight low, value area low, with an attempt to break out and push towards all-time highs. That's going to be hypo 1. Hypo 2 is going to be a push up, get into high of day from yesterday. If we can hold here, then we're going to watch for a turn back down, traverse through yesterday's range, going towards yesterday's low. Even the low after that, we're going to see if we could stay inside this consolidation area, waiting for the break. That's going to be hypo 2. Oopsie. Go that again. Hypo 2. And hypo 3 will be a test open, could be a move straight down, get in through yesterday's value area towards yesterday's value area low, continue to find resistance as we push down and make our way towards this naked VPOC at 2371-ish. But and if we fail here, we'll look for a continued move down. I don't have enough on my chart to show it, but this will be more than enough for us to be watching this morning. Okay. Let's get this chart out the way. Do a little repositioning that you cannot see. Okay. So we've come down a bit since we've done our homework. There is no gap. So one of the things we're going to adjust in our plans for this morning is we are now bringing yesterday's high in and overnight VPOC as a potential point of resistance. So we're gonna watch for that. We've come all the way back down into yesterday's value area. We've dropped about 20 ticks since we've done the homework. Not sure what the onus was for that, but it doesn't really matter. Whatever it was, all we care about is that we see we see that it happened on the chart, and that's all that really matters to us. Okay, so to spare you guys just a couple of minutes on the YouTube video, I'm going to pause this and pick it up near the open. Okay. I just wanted to point something out here. We only have a minute and a half to the open. So during our homework, we talked about how we have these three. Sorry, my pen. I'm not sure why that continues to turn off and on me, but that's all right. We talked about how we had these strong bullish candles here, and how if we were to come back down, we would look to either see that hold as support. And if you guys remember, when we go through a low volume area, which is what this was, we see it either sometimes hold as support, just like it did here, or we see that we slide through it quickly, just like we did here. Now, that's most of the time. That's not all the time, but I just wanted to show you how accurately that worked out. And now what's happened is, now that we've come below it, we've come to test it from below, and now it's held as resistance. So that's, again, something we're going to be watching for here at the open. What happens? Do we continue to make our way down here, making a run towards yesterday's VPOC and value area low, or do we see a hold of support at yesterday's close, which is where we're trading right now? So same thing as we saw with the S&P. The fact that we have come down from where we were doing our homework really does lend itself to believe that we're going to have a bit of a choppy open here. Let's see what happens. So there's a open drive down. Let's see. Let's see what we're doing here. Making a push towards yesterday's VPOC. I'm going to start watching yesterday's VPOC for an area of support. We pushed towards it, but came right away from it. That happened awfully quickly. On the top side, we're going to look at the value area high potentially as a point of resistance. Remember, that also coincides with yesterday's closing price. Sellers are adding on to the offer here. I should tell you, I have not made one adjustment to my screens, but notice how much further my yellow numbers are from the ladder there, the depth of market. I don't know. I just don't know why things change on their own. A little bit frustrating. Let me see something. Does that change it? Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have not been able to get all the way down to VPOC. We show positive divergence on the 610. We don't show positive divergence on any of the others right now. I think I just missed a decent short right there. I think this is going to push here. Buyers continue to defend. We're seeing the potential of a inverted head and shoulders here. We're going to watch to see if something like that plays out. Again, because we opened in yesterday's value area, we do expect a little bit more chop versus had we opened further away, even potentially with a gap, small gap up. Just got to be patient. Want to be sure not to overtrade, not to create trades in our head that don't exist. Okay, coming up to test this value area high from yesterday. If we can push up a little bit higher, what we're going to look for then is a pullback down into this area to complete, or at least to further draw out the inverted head and shoulders. We're going to look for a long down there. So I'm putting some orders out now with the interest of trying to get long on a pullback. Let's see if we can't pull back and get me into our first contract. You can see here where we are making our way back up to this swing high. There was no negative divergence. The BBs look like we will still push through there if we make another run. So I didn't get filled there. Sorry for that, guys. Okay, we're in our first contract. Let's see here. So this is slightly different than a lot of our other order entries. I was not waiting. I didn't wait for order flow to verify. I was really interested in the pattern itself, that inverted head and shoulders. I do have positive indicators as far as the BBs go. I do see that we do have a nice upward slope and what would look to be positive divergence on at least the 610 and the 987 if we were to push our way down. So that was also part of the equation for me. Let's see if we can get our second contract here. At this point, I would really like to get our second contract here. General rule of thumb, if it comes to touch me, I want to be filled. You know, it's no different than when we have a profit target set. Okay, we just kind of got to be patient here. As for our profit target, while we're only in one contract, we're going to shoot for 49 even. We're going to front run yesterday's high and overnight VPOC by a few ticks. Not much to tell you right now. Okay. So if you remember the inverted head and shoulders pattern that we drew, move down, bounce. And that's what we're looking for. So of course we now need to break this previous swing high here to further continue that pattern. In this trade, time is not our friend. The longer we, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Just thinking from the perspective of the pattern, the inverted head and shoulders, I wouldn't want it to take all that long. I wouldn't want to sit here and consolidate. However, if we consolidate down here and the BBs just kind of flatten out, they don't really get over exaggerated to either side, then that's okay. I really want to get that fill. That's the second time it can't touch me. I'm not sure why that I wouldn't have been filled, but we're just going to assume that it wouldn't have been. So here again, we're consolidating, kind of just sitting tight. The BBs are not getting ahead of themselves. If you remember yesterday, there we go. So we're into our second contract, which at this point we are going to add. We're going to adjust this profit target to go up to 10 ticks from our average entry here. But so we're consolidating here, and the BBs are not getting ahead of themselves. And still, if we were to see a continued push down, we would still show positive divergence in two of the three, maybe even all three. The 1597 would be awfully close, but two of the three, based on the way things look right now, we would still show positive divergence on two of the three BBs, which is why I'm still okay with trying to scale in for one more contract. Let's see what time we have. Still only 9:13. Really slow open. I'm just gonna do a little quick multitasking here. Sorry. Okay. All right, so we've come back up from where we got scaled in. Let's see if we can't now continue to push. Everything is still valid from our original trade entry. Because this chart is a tick-based chart, because these candles are printed based on volume, when I'm referring to time being or not being our friend, in this case, it's more so volume. Because generally, with the head and shoulders pattern, you want the length of this shoulder and neck region to be somewhat equivalent to this one, right? So we want to see this form and make its way back up fairly soon would be nice. Now, the other part of that, the part that we have going for us, is that the BBs are continuing to show positive divergence. They're not running away. Again, if you remember yesterday, there was a really strong upward slope in the BBs while price just stayed flat. 987 does have a little bit of that right now, but the 610 does not. So what we'd like to see in the next few candles here, what I'd really like to see is a push up towards the current high of day. Start having price push up here. But that is currently not happening. Let's see if we can get our last scale. Again, notice there's still positive divergence, so I'm okay with the idea of getting one more scale. I'd be completely okay if I don't as well, if we just start pushing away from here. Really thick levels on the bid. I mean, look at how many of these are, of course, over 100, and then we got some over 150. Thick levels all over the place, actually, and that tends to be the case when you have a tighter market, less active market. You see more and more contracts coming in at each price level. So we've gotten our third fill. And our average price now is 78. So that's going to put one profit target here at 88. Move this one out of the way for now, and we can certainly adjust that if we choose to. Again, BBs are still showing positive. This has turned more into a double bottom more so than an inverted head and shoulders, but still all of the ideology behind this trade, all the reasons are still okay. Now we just need to see price actually start making its way up. I have not really paid any attention to the order flow at this point. Although now that I am looking, it looks like sellers were pretty good at stopping that on the way up. Let's see if we can't refresh these bids. Sorry, something just fell. Okay. So we're going to need to see some buyers start holding the bids here. There's some good selling pressure right now. Not all that excited about that, admittedly. Really need to see buyers step in and start holding bid, absorb some of the buying here, or I should say absorb some of the selling. But sellers continue to push down. Let's see. See there again, sellers keep adding on to these offers while we're trading them. There is definite selling pressure here. Buyers are going to have to firm up and see if we can't see if the sellers don't get exhausted. But right now, that does not look to be the case. Remember, order flow can change literally in the blink of an eye. So it would be a never-ending commentary if all we did was look at the order flow and talk about it. But what we're looking for now is we're looking for trades to happen at the offer and for the contracts on the offer to no longer continue to add it on right there. Definitely nothing showing positive order flow right now. BBs are positive, so we're happy with that. We have double bottom, we have VPOC as support, so we're happy with that. But my stop loss is in a pretty tricky area. We're below VPOC but above value area low, which can also act as the support here. So gonna just kind of have to see how this plays out. I like the buyers are holding their ground here. It's at the current low of day above the VPOC. I like that they're showing that they're willing to defend there. But what I'd really need to start seeing, of course, is sellers running out of steam. You know, stop coming down low offer and stop adding contracts. Or so there again, we just traded off of this. That was good, but again, very microscopically. There, see, they added on offers there one more time. We do seem to be trying to push here. We do seem to be trading offers. Now we just gotta watch for the sellers to lift their prices, have buyers get a little bit more aggressive. Big buy block went off there, 23 contract buy block. So right now those offers are adding on again at that low offer, that's 75. Let's see if we can't get through that. So we're down to 19, back up. See, they added more contracts there at 75. Here we are again. Let's see if we could trade it. No, they added more once again. All right, so buyers came high bid. Let's see. Nope, sellers came right back. And now buyers are up. Let's see if we can't push. Okay, that's a nice strong move there by the buyers. Definitely firmed up down here. Still got a ways to go. So right now we're sitting right at VWAP as resistance. So we really want to see that. We want to see us get through there. BB still show positive. Order flow, we definitely, we saw the buyers defend at the current low. We've seen them, we've watched them step up from there. But this is still far from a winning trade just yet. Buyers do continue to show strength here, but we need to see at this point, we need to see the sellers lift up, get away. What time is it? Still 6.5 minutes to the open. I'll tell you, very slow. It feels like I've been sitting in front of the screen now for a lot longer than I have. And part of that is because we started paying attention to the order flow. You can get caught up in it, and there's so much happening that you feel as if, oh, all these things have happened, so that had to have been a lot of time passed, or at least that's how it feels for me. Buyers continue to come high bid here, and the sellers holding. Not crazy about the about the level of consolidation. I do like the BBs though. I mean, the BBs all reach strong. Like I said, the worst part about my trade right now potentially is where my stop price is. I like that VPOC is ahead of me. I like that that could act as support. Of course, we're below current low of day. We'd really want to see this hold support. I actually don't even want to see this get tested again. At this point, I'd like buyers to just continue to drift price higher. S&P has done that, but I mean it's very minimal. But I just looked over and I happened to notice that. Okay, in the meantime, pum, pum, pum. So VWAP is currently working as resistance. Here, let's blow this up a little since there's really not much to look at here. Give us a real clear view of what's happening. Now, don't let the size of these candles fool you. We've blown this up where, we're not seeing much of a range here. But just to show you, VWAP has currently held as resistance. I'm not actually thrilled about that. I really would like to see us get through that VWAP and have it start acting as support, ultimately with the idea being that we finish our inverted head and shoulders. And again, let's go back for just a little bit. Finish the inverted head and shoulders, although that's kind of gone now. Even just a retest of current high a day gets us scaled out of one of our positions. And then at that point, we are kind of in a 50-50 trade, but we're in from a great price point if that happens. So let's see what happens. Okay, there's a push up. Just kind of got to be patient here. All right, another push up here. So we came up to test yesterday's value area high. We didn't break it there. Let's see if we can't get that next push. All right. Let's see if we can't break through this most recent high here. Again, I admittedly I'm not putting a lot of time in staring at the screen. S&P is about to open, so we'll watch here right near overnight high. No negative divergence, no negative divergence on the BBs. So we're not looking for a short up here. Let's see what comes. Also, the equities open sometimes can get a bit of a move in oil as well, which would be nice. As long as that move goes in my favor, it would be nice. Let's see what we get here in the S&P. So again, opening inside yesterday's range, inside yesterday's value. So let's watch what happens up here at value area high, overnight high. So we broke it right away. I'm looking for a pullback into the VPOC from yesterday and from overnight. The fact that they were overlapping, definitely shows that there was a lot of trading happening there. Didn't quite get it yet. Okay, here's a bit of a pullback. Let's see if we can't get through the lower day here on S&P. I don't want that pullback in oil. I really want oil to stay above that VWAP, but that didn't happen. Again, BBs look good in oil, but see now with the way the BBs have thrusted up in this last move, this is back to where like what happened yesterday. I'm afraid that they're overextending themselves while price is not. That's not the greatest thing in the world for me. I like it as a sign as that we should hold support down here at the low because of the positive divergence, but I really would have liked this move to push a little further than it did. I think we might be in trouble here on our oil trade. We'll see what happens. So nothing for me to do on oil at this point. I don't plan on adding on to my trade. I don't plan on closing my trade where it is, again, because of the way the BBs are. So right now, there's really nothing for me to do this. So I'm spending more time looking over at the S&P right now, waiting for a potential trade setup. Sorry for the silence, but there's really nothing to tell you just now. S&P really didn't give a pullback from the open small one. Let's crunch this up a little bit and take a look. Okay. I just wanted to see a little bit more of yesterday's trade. So we're kind of right in the middle of yesterday's range here. BB's all pointing positive. I really would have liked the opportunity to get along on a pullback to VPOC. But that opportunity might have come and gone. So oil is coming to retest the low of day. Again, there's real clear. Now we're about to see the part of the oil trade that I think might be the worst of it. So getting stopped out isn't the part that worries me. It's what's coming next. It looks to me as if we could turn right from here and head back up. This is the part I was saying. I wasn't crazy about where my stop price was. It looks like we got stopped to the tick. So we are watching. I'm definitely looking to add to go back into a long position here on oil. Let's see here. Okay, pushing down. I'm looking for the order flow to firm up a little bit because I do like this setup for a long. I'm going to take one here. Oh, I should have had one there. Okay, now we have one here. In fact, I'm going to look to get more. Okay, so that's two. And I do want my third. But I'm just going to wait for a second here. And I'm going to take my third here. Okay. Now over here on S&P, we look like we're getting a pushback down towards VPOC. So right now I'm paying attention to the S&P order flow. I am also keeping an eye over here on oil. Came right up to VWAP and failed there. Not crazy about that. To see it fail right at that VWAP. I think we might be in trouble again here. We need to see these. We need to see the BB's pattern hold. Right now, the pattern is exactly as we want, but now we need to see price respect that pattern. S&P didn't quite get down to VPOC. Still a bit away. We're ticks away from actually getting to. Yes, that is VPOC. Some buying stepped in there. Some bids stepped up in oil. Followed by some offers coming right back in, some size. Still looking at the S&P here predominantly for a long. One of the things we do need to be careful for with the S&P is that the BBs are potentially setting themselves up for negative divergence at the current high. So we'll have to pay attention to that. The current high a day here. Okay. S&P pushing down. So there's our test of VPOC. I'm looking for order flow to show me, preferably order flow and candle, to give us a reason to get into a long here. Well, there was some strong response there by buyers. Let's let this candle get closer to closing. Let's start a position here in the S&P. Okay. Okay, so We took our long right around VPOC here, took it at this bounce. Actually, really was looking to catch it a tick above. This candle didn't break, so this is really not the position I want to be in. Shoot. So we're going to scale in here. We're willing to add onto the scale due to the positive divergence on the BVs, and we actually have them on all three charts right now. I'm not sure why I'm not getting my fill there. We traded down there a bit. Oil could be turning into a problem here for us. Still have the positive divergence. You know, we're still really just testing VPOC, still have value area low as support. I mean, still have everything there, just not getting the price to respect the patterns that we're looking for. Okay, so what are we in at now? 86. Okay, what time is it? It's 9:45. So it's really, I don't expect there to be much more. You know what I would like to be able to try to do though? Shoot. Let me check something. Although I might not need to do this because oil is not cooperating as I would have hoped. Okay, let's see. 48.82. Working. 48.97. Okay, so if I take those out. Sorry guys, I just want to readjust something here. Again, I don't think these profit targets are going to matter because I think we're getting stopped out on oil. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh boy. Okay, so we got scaled into our last contract in oil, and give me 1 second. All right, stopped out in oil. Sorry, in S&P. Give me 1 second here. All right, guys. Unfortunately, that last call is one I do have to take. Which kind of stinks. I would like to actually play this out a little further. I really want to see what happens. Even if we get stopped out, I want to see what happens with yesterday's low and overnight low on oil. Still showing strong positive divergence on the VVs down here. Really do want to see that. Okay. Anyhow, I will, as always, if you guys have any questions. So got whipsawed a little bit today. Patterns just didn't hold up. I have no complaints about the entries. Again, range was just awfully tight on the open, on the moves back up. As always, if you have any questions, get in touch. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.